Hi, welcome to She Spice. What's more, he hangs out in the realm of famous people for his remarkable way to deal with acclaim, while numerous people of note stand out through their most minimal minutes or discussions. Keanu's perseverance through claims comes from his rational and humble disposition. His realness and veritable nature have procured him a committed and revering fan base. However, he might not have won the blessing of the Hollywood world class. Keanu professes to have seen truly evil deeds committed by these elites, which has driven him to challenge their position, and presently, allegedly, he is getting undermined. Music Hollywood is often depicted as a domain where lowliness and practical characteristics are ignored. Powerful figures will generally excuse individual gifts rather than apply control, or, on the other hand, request submission. Keanu Reeves has confronted difficulties within this framework, and as of late, he has shed light on his encounters, uncovering the tensions and endeavors by strong powers to impact his way in the business. In one meeting, he expressed no to it except for the fact that it's simply the status quo. You can have positive and negative encounters, yet what I like about studios are the assets and the universes that they can make clearly. A ton of good producers work on studio motion pictures in a generally seen 2011 video, which has amassed a shocking 16 million perspectives. A sad episode happened. A lady unexpectedly maneuvered her Mercedes SUV into Keanu Reeves' dearest 1973 Norton Commando 750 Cruiser, while the entertainer was inside a clinical office. The Beverly Slopes police expeditiously showed up to record the occurrence, and Keanu participated in a conversation with both the cops and the lady included. Anyway, a few people have guessed whether this mishap had more going on under the surface, recommending the contribution of Hollywood elites Roberto. Everyone back up can shoot without the glimmer. You can shoot without coming back. And in a different video from 2020 Shinkai, which has gathered 8.3 million perspectives, Keanu transparently examines his cruiser with his fans in a 2021 video with 8.3 million views. Keanu Reeves straightforwardly examines his bike with his fans. This video has drawn in critical consideration, with viewers analyzing whether it were a social examination or an extraordinary understanding of the entertainer's life. One individual remarked, "I like the distance they keep, but he never really keeps them. Under control yet, their regard shows in the manner in which they stand back and give him space, and in the meantime, he's grinning, working, and contacting them. He's never really driving them away in a 2015 video." Keanu should be visible strolling energetically through an air terminal, stopping to take photographs with fans. Strikingly, he is going on a business flight and seems to have no protectors, in spite of his total assets being assessed at $350 million at the time. Joe Rogan once discussed Keanu saying entertaining things. The fact that people say that I'm giving complete credit to Keanu, 100% him, began doing that, and like, are you doing him? I'm making sure that I give the credit to Keanu, implying that is marvelous. It might appear to be uncommon to praise Keanu Reeves for showing fundamental human conventionality, featuring how Hollywood has essentially lessened our assumptions about big names, in spite of Keanu's wonderful accomplishments in Hollywood. There is a side of him that firmly dismisses the charm and excess related to Tinseltown. The explanations for his feelings are everything except carefree. Keanu's broadly perceived standing as a really generous individual could without much of a stretch eclipse the significant ill will he holds towards the disrupting and impressive parts of the diversion industry. Underneath his friendly exterior lies a profoundly imbued hatred originating from his certifiable disquiet with the business triviality and manipulative. As indicated by him, there was an in-depth subordinate component that initially embraced computerized, however. When it got to Hollywood and the standard each job must be seen, individuals lost their positions. Businesses have fallen due to this change, yet occupations are likewise being made. It is nature, and it tends to be fierce some of the time, but it very well may be delightful. As per Keanu, the predominant culture in Hollywood shows up to focus on control over morals, provoking him to take part in an individual campaign against the darker features of the diversion world. The new worry of Harvey Weinstein brought the shadowy underside of Hollywood's world class to the front line, uncovering the perplexing reality of the business with various entertainers, chiefs, and makers confronting charges of unfortunate behavior. The industry's undesirable truths were unquestionably revealed. I'm more similar to someone on the ground playing in the mud, and he's like flying and hopping beyond structures and helicopters. Keanu emphasized that the issue of taking advantage of youthful, hopeful ladies probably won't be the main issue tormenting Hollywood. He likewise, I noticed, something significantly perturbing the presence of vile components. For example, people with uncommon practices like blood drinking inside the business. One thing I could say is that I share, as you talked about the energy for films. What's more, you realize we're simply fortunate to be there and we're attempting to have a good time. As of late, a site turned an entirely created story, including entertainer Keanu Reeves dishonestly stating that he said something in Milan recommending that Hollywood elites utilize the blood of children to get high. This story built up some forward movement on Facebook, accumulating over 26,000 commitments. It was shared on the confirmed Newswire stage as well as on related pages of individuals' voices during a meeting. Keanu tended to computerize control in films, saying, no doubt carefully, "I don't care either way if somebody takes a squint out during an altar." However, right off the bat, in the mid-2000s or what could have been the 90s, I had a presentation transformed. They added a tear to my face and I was very much like, huh. It was as if I didn't need to be here during the development of The Meddlesome Outsider. Keanu Reeves made the surprising decision that a couple of entertainers would try and consider him energetically letting go of something that most would savagely clutch a significant check. The Meddlesome Outsider is an otherworldly thrill ride that digs into the dim domains of progress. What's more, enticement revolving around a youthful legal counselor as projecting conversation advanced not even the Oscar-winning Al Pacino, who was drawn nearer for the job of John Milton, could be influenced. At first, he declined the proposition multiple times, communicating qualms about the person's platitude. Nature. No, I mean you are from the outset. However, you become a quite troublemaker. Do I? Yes, I do, most importantly. Not very great to chairs. First off, yes, I'm before all else. I'm Pacino, Pro C. Dead to propose Robert Redford and Sean Connery as possible contender for the job. Supposedly, Keanu consented to a significant, yet again decrease in his charge, adding up to large number of dollars to assist with fulfilling Al Pacino's compensation. Needs Keanu's magnanimity ended up being advantageous, for all gatherings included. Aside from himself, the film ultimately rounded up more than $61 million in film industry income, with Al Pacino's exhibition gathering huge commendation as a champion feature. Inside the film, however, everything except, I don't know, didn't you recall that scene where, Alucino is talking, and I'm in his condo, and he's colloquialism. It was anything but a disconnected occurrence where he forfeited a piece of his profit around 3 years after the fact. Keanu Reeves supposedly consented to a critical 90% decrease in his compensation to co-star, close by Gene Hackman in The Substitutions. Anyway, popular assessment on Keanu's ability was parted. I owned with some thinking about him as unremarkable by and by his exhibition in Bram Stoker's Dracula, an acclaimed gothic blood and gore movie where he depicted Jonathan Harker ended up being both creatively and monetarily victorious. Even the movie's chief said, "We realized that it was extreme for him to influence and English emphasize. He made a solid attempt." That was the issue. Really, he needed to do it impeccably, and in attempting to do it impeccably, it put on a show of being unnatural. I attempted to inspire him to simply unwind with it and not do it so demandingly. So perhaps I wasn't as disparaging of him, however. That is on the grounds that I like him by and by such a huge amount right up until now, when he's a ruler in my eyes in the midst of these difficulties. Keanu stayed unfaltering, never respecting the enticement of giving and taking his standards for abundance and superstar status. He was not exploring this excursion alone. His reliable fans stood immovably close, reliably communicating their fondness and resolute help for him all along. Keanu Reeves has distinguished himself among top-notch VIPs through his extraordinary methodology. Currently, the purposes for this uniqueness come into focus while numerous famous people regularly participate in openly showing love and underscoring specific actual viewpoints. Keanu takes an alternate course. He strikingly ceases actual contact, and this decision is well established in his misgiving of being influenced by the business's negative components. It stands as his approach to opposing the pervasive typification and double-dealing that deplorably penetrate Hollywood. No, I'm not comparable to Kai, but rather, it was ideal to play him. It was ideal to be that great a fellow. Keanu Reeves's magnanimous endeavors are really honorable. He effectively includes himself in beneficent drives and energetically upholds causes that are of high repute to him. What's especially striking is his modesty. He decides not to pitch his name regarding the establishment. Back in 2009, he said during a meeting that I had a confidential establishment that had been running. Subscribe She Spice for more videos.